From Hollywood legends to modern stars, these 20 celebrities turned their glamorous lives into chaos through alcohol addiction. Elizabeth Taylor's violet eyes hid her darkest battles, and Richard Burton drank 57 bottles of wine in just 1 week. But wait until you hear about Oliver Reed's last drink that killed him on set, and W.C. Fields sneaking booze onto sets in pineapple juice thermoses. These shocking truths will leave you stunned. Let's start with number 20, Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor's life seemed to glisten with Hollywood's golden light, but behind her violet eyes and iconic smile was a battle with alcohol that often spiraled out of control. Known for her 8 marriages, including her famously tumultuous relationship with Richard Burton, Taylor's love life was as dramatic as her films. But few knew that her struggles with heartbreak and loss often drove her to the bottle. After the sudden death of her 3rd husband, Mike Todd, in a plane crash, Taylor reportedly turned to alcohol to numb the unbearable pain. Her drinking escalated during her marriage to Burton, with the couple often indulging in marathon drinking sessions that fueled explosive fights. One of Burton's friends described their arguments as epic battles fueled by booze. Her dependence became so severe that during the filming of Cleopatra, she was often late to set, her condition causing production delays. In later years, Taylor bravely admitted, "I drank to drown my sorrows, but the sorrows learned to swim." Despite her battles, Taylor sought help later in life, becoming one of the first celebrities to openly discuss addiction and inspire others to seek recovery. Number 19, Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra wasn't just a singer, he was an icon, a man whose voice could melt hearts and whose charm lit up every room he entered. But behind the glamour and golden hits was a man with a deep, troubling relationship with alcohol. Sinatra's drinking was legendary, and the stories of his wild, booze-filled nights shocked even his closest friends. During his Las Vegas days with the Rat Pack, Sinatra's drinking was the stuff of myth. He once demanded a bar stay open just for him, and the staff obeyed, well into the next morning. On another occasion, he ordered 200 martinis for his entourage, laughing as they tried to keep up. His favorite drink? Jack Daniel's whiskey, which he called Nectar of the Gods. He drank it so often that the company sent him custom bottles with his name engraved. But the consequences of his drinking were anything but glamorous. Sinatra's temper often flared under the influence, leading to explosive arguments and shattered relationships. Behind the charisma and swagger, his battle with alcohol was a private storm, a stark contrast to the polished crooner fans adored. His struggles serve as a haunting reminder that even legends are not invincible. Number 18, Richard Harris. Richard Harris, the charismatic Irish actor, known for his powerful performances in Camelot, and later as Dumbledore in the Harry Potter series, lived a life that often mirrored the chaos of his characters. Harris wasn't just a drinker, he was a man who turned drinking into an art form, a way of life so wild it shocked even his closest friends. His relationship with alcohol was legendary, his antics becoming the stuff of Hollywood folklore. Harris once famously bragged, "I often wake up and think, who's been drinking my drink? Only to realize it was me." He was notorious for drinking so heavily that his body seemed to defy limits. On one occasion, Harris reportedly downed an entire crate of Guinness in one sitting, an act that left even the hardest drinkers in awe. His wild escapades included drunken bar fights, missed film shoots, and nights that ended in complete blackout. Despite his incredible talent, Harris's drinking cost him roles and relationships. One particularly shocking moment came when he was hospitalized after a bender so severe that doctors warned he wouldn't survive another. Yet, even as he reflected on his excesses, Harris's love for alcohol never waned, leaving behind a legacy of brilliance and self-destruction. Number 17, Robin Williams. Robin Williams, the comedic genius who could make the world laugh in seconds, fought a deeply personal battle that many never saw. Beneath his rapid-fire wit and boundless energy was a man wrestling with alcohol, a struggle that haunted him for decades. Williams openly admitted that fame's pressures often led him to the bottle, saying, "Cocaine is God's way of saying you're making too much money, and alcohol is a slower way of killing yourself." In the early 1980s, after the death of his close friend John Belushi, Williams temporarily quit drinking, shaken by how close he'd come to a similar fate. But sobriety didn't last. Years later, during the quiet isolation of filming in Alaska, Williams described how temptation crept back, confessing, "I was lonely, and alcohol was my comfort." His drinking wasn't just about indulgence. It was an escape from the overwhelming pain he hid so well. Even during his brightest performances, like in Mrs. Doubtfire or Good Will Hunting, Williams was privately grappling with his inner darkness. His tragic death left the world stunned, proving that even those who bring light to others often fight their own unseen battles in the shadows. Number 16. Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt, the golden boy of Hollywood, seemed to have it all: fame, fortune, and an image of effortless perfection. But behind the dazzling smile and blockbuster hits was a man struggling with a secret that almost consumed him. For years, Pitt battled with alcohol, a hidden demon he later called his escape hatch. In a shocking confession during his divorce from Angelina Jolie, Pitt revealed that his drinking had spiraled out of control, threatening not just his marriage, but also his role as a father. "I can't remember a day since college when I wasn't boozing or had a spliff," he admitted. Those closest to him described scenes of him nursing a drink long after everyone else had gone home, lost in his thoughts. The breaking point came when Jolie filed for divorce in 2016, citing his drinking as one of the reasons. Pitt didn't deny it. Instead, he took responsibility, saying, "I hit the lottery, and I still wasted my time on drink." Determined to reclaim his life, Pitt turned to Alcoholics Anonymous, spending months in recovery. His candidness about his struggles shocked fans, revealing that even Hollywood's brightest stars can battle the darkest shadows. Pitt's journey is a raw, unflinching look at redemption. Number 15. Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr., now celebrated as the invincible Iron Man, once lived a life far from heroic. His battle with alcohol in the 1990s and early 2000s nearly destroyed his career, his relationships, and even his freedom. While his talent was undeniable, Downey's off-screen life was spiraling out of control, fueled by addiction and an insatiable thirst for alcohol. The shocking moments were endless. In 1996, he was arrested after being found driving drunk and in possession of drugs. Just weeks later, he stumbled into his neighbor's home, passed out in a child's bed, and had no recollection of how he got there. His behavior became so erratic that filmmakers refused to work with him. Hollywood whispered that the once promising star might never recover. Downey himself admitted, "It's like I have a shotgun in my mouth and I've got my finger on the trigger." His wake-up call came during his time in jail, where he realized he was at rock bottom. Emerging from the wreckage of his past, Downey sought sobriety with iron-willed determination. His journey from disgrace to becoming one of Hollywood's highest-paid actors remains one of the industry's most shocking and inspiring transformations. Before moving forward, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring you more shocking and intriguing celebrity stories. Let's dive into the next one. Number 14. Richard Burton. Richard Burton was a man of immense talent, whose voice could command any stage and whose presence electrified the silver screen. Yet, behind his magnetic performances lay a life drowning in alcohol, a vice so consuming it became as infamous as his career. Burton's drinking wasn't just a habit, it was a lifestyle, one he shared unapologetically. During his stormy marriage to Elizabeth Taylor, the couple became Hollywood's most scandalous pair, often drinking into the early hours, fueling legendary arguments. Their fights, Burton admitted, were volcanic, with alcohol acting as both a trigger and an excuse. Once, after a particularly wild night, Burton reportedly downed 3 bottles of vodka in a single sitting and walked onto set the next day as if nothing had happened. Shockingly, Burton kept a detailed diary of his drinking escapades, once noting that he had consumed 57 bottles of wine during a single week-long vacation. His addiction not only tarnished his health, but also his career, with directors complaining of his unpredictability. Despite his intellect and brilliance, Burton's life was a tragic tale of talent, overshadowed by demons. His addiction serves as a stark reminder of how even the brightest stars can be dimmed by the shadows of excess. Number 13. Peter O'Toole. Peter O'Toole, the legendary star of Lawrence of Arabia, was as famous for his acting brilliance as he was for his wild, alcohol-fueled escapades. Known for his devil-may-care attitude, O'Toole's drinking habits shocked even the most hardened Hollywood insiders. He once quipped, "I can't stand light. I hate weather. My idea of heaven is moving from one smoke-filled room to another." And that's exactly how he lived. O'Toole's drinking became legendary during his time in the spotlight. On one infamous occasion, he allegedly arrived on set after a 48-hour bender, only to deliver a flawless performance that left everyone stunned. Stories of him drinking pubs dry weren't exaggerated. He once reportedly asked a bartender, "Can you float a matchstick on top of this pint? If it floats, it's not strong enough." His love for alcohol wasn't without consequences. O'Toole suffered severe health issues, including stomach surgery to address years of abuse. When doctors warned him that another drink might kill him, he responded with his trademark wit, "What's the use of moderation if it's not extreme?" Peter O'Toole's life was a cocktail of genius and recklessness, a sobering reminder of how brilliance can be both a gift and a curse. Number 12. Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore's story isn't just shocking, it's heartbreaking. The Hollywood sweetheart, who charmed audiences as a child in E.T., was already battling alcohol addiction before most kids her age even knew what it was. Drew grew up in a family drenched in fame and dysfunction, with a father known for his erratic behavior and a mother who introduced her to Hollywood's wild party scene far too early. By the age of 9, Drew was sipping champagne at celebrity parties. By 11, she was sneaking away with bottles of alcohol, and by 13, she was sent to rehab for the first time. Her spiral into addiction wasn't just shocking, it was tragic. Paparazzi captured her attending exclusive events, drink in hand, while tabloids dubbed her a fallen star before she even hit her teenage years. The most shocking moment came when Drew, at just 14, legally emancipated herself from her parents, severing ties to regain control of her life. Against all odds, she fought her way back, transforming her story from one of despair to redemption. Today, Barrymore openly discusses her struggles, inspiring others to rise from the depths, just as she did. Her journey is a reminder that even the brightest stars can endure the darkest nights. Number 11. Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn, the dashing swashbuckler of Robin Hood fame, lived a life of reckless abandon that rivaled his on-screen adventures. Behind the charm and bravado, Flynn's love for alcohol defined much of his personal life, often leading to scandal and chaos. His drinking wasn't just a pastime, it was a philosophy. Flynn famously declared, "I like my whiskey old and my women young," a quote that epitomized his hedonistic lifestyle. Flynn's yacht, Sirocco, became the scene of his wildest parties, where he and his guests would drink until dawn. On one notorious occasion, he reportedly drank 50 martinis in a single night, a feat that left even the most seasoned drinkers speechless. Flynn reveled in his reputation, often challenging friends and strangers to drinking contests he rarely lost. But the excess took its toll. By his 40s, Flynn's health was deteriorating rapidly, and his once vigorous on-screen persona gave way to a man struggling to stay afloat. His untimely death at 50, caused by a massive heart attack, shocked Hollywood. Errol Flynn's life, full of glamour and indulgence, remains a haunting reminder of how a relentless pursuit of pleasure can lead to tragic consequences. Number 10. Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan's rise and fall is one of Hollywood's most shocking cautionary tales. Once a beloved child star, captivating audiences in The Parent Trap and Mean Girls, her life soon spiraled into chaos, fueled by alcohol and relentless media scrutiny. By her early 20s, Lindsay had become a tabloid fixture, her hard-partying lifestyle overshadowing her talent. Lohan's struggles with alcohol came to light with her multiple DUIs. In 2007, she was arrested twice in 3 months for driving under the influence. Her mugshots became a grim reminder of how far she had fallen. During one arrest, police found cocaine in her car, an image that shattered her once innocent public persona. Her late-night escapades, public feuds, and erratic behavior earned her the nickname Hollywood's Wild Child. The most shocking revelation came during her court appearances when she admitted to drinking as a way to cope with the pressure of fame. She once confessed, "I wanted to escape. I wanted to feel nothing." Lohan's struggles led to multiple stints in rehab, yet her career was never quite the same. Lindsay's story is a heartbreaking example of how the Hollywood machine can consume even its brightest young stars, leaving behind a trail of scandal and heartbreak. Number 9. Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen, once the highest paid actor on television, became the poster child for Hollywood's most shocking self-destruction. Known for his charisma on screen and his bad boy charm, Sheen's life behind the scenes spiraled into chaos fueled by alcohol and relentless partying. His drinking wasn't just a vice, it was a full-blown lifestyle that left a trail of destruction. At the height of his career on 2.5 Men, Sheen's behavior became increasingly erratic. In 2011, he shocked the world with his infamous tiger blood and winning rants, often delivered while visibly intoxicated. His alcohol-fueled tirades cost him his lucrative TV contract and alienated him from his co-stars. One of the most jaw-dropping incidents involved Sheen trashing a hotel room in New York, reportedly while on a drinking binge with a porn star. Police found him naked and incoherent, an image that dominated headlines. Sheen himself admitted, "I drank to escape, but all it did was bring chaos." His battle with addiction and public meltdowns turned his career into a cautionary tale. Though he later sought sobriety, Sheen's wild and self-destructive streak remains one of Hollywood's most unforgettable downward spirals. Number 8. Humphrey Bogart. Humphrey Bogart, Hollywood's ultimate tough guy, wasn't just playing a role on screen. His hard-drinking lifestyle mirrored the rugged, no-nonsense characters he portrayed. Known for his love of whiskey and his infamous late-night drinking sessions, Bogart's relationship with alcohol became as iconic as his trench coat and fedora. Bogart was a fixture at Hollywood's watering holes, where he often held court with his quick wit and biting humor. Whiskey was his drink of choice, and it wasn't unusual for him to polish off a bottle during an evening of storytelling and camaraderie. His drinking habits, however, had real consequences. Bogart was notorious for keeping film sets waiting due to his heavy hangovers. One director quipped, "If Bogey ever showed up on time, we'd think we were on the wrong movie." One of the most shocking tales involved Bogart showing up to the set of The African Queen visibly hungover, delaying production for hours. Yet, when the cameras rolled, he delivered performances so brilliant that audiences never suspected the chaos behind the scenes. Despite his drinking, Bogart maintained an unmatched presence on screen, cementing his legacy as one of Hollywood's greatest stars. However, his struggles with alcohol left an indelible mark, adding complexity to his tough guy persona. Number 7. Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson, once one of Hollywood's most bankable stars, stunned the world with his shocking fall from grace, a descent fueled by alcohol and infamous public outbursts. Known for his rugged good looks and commanding performances in films like Braveheart and Lethal Weapon, Gibson's off-screen life painted a far darker picture. His struggles with alcohol first came to light in the early 2000s, but the breaking point arrived in 2006 when he was arrested for drunk driving. The arrest itself was bad enough, but what followed shocked the world. Gibson unleashed a drunken, anti-Semitic tirade against the arresting officers, an incident that all but shattered his public image. He later admitted, "I was out of control, an embarrassing, bad moment." Gibson's drinking wasn't just a one-time issue. Those close to him revealed a pattern of self-destructive behavior fueled by alcohol. In another scandal, recordings of his drunken rants surfaced, further damaging his reputation. The man who once stood as a Hollywood giant became a cautionary tale, ostracized by the very industry that had once adored him. Though he has since sought treatment and attempted to rebuild his career, Gibson's story remains a shocking example of how alcohol can turn fame and power into chaos and ruin. Number 6. Chris Farley. Chris Farley, the larger-than-life comedic genius who lit up Saturday Night Live and films like Tommy Boy, hid a deeply troubling battle with addiction behind his infectious laugh. While audiences adored his wild antics and physical comedy, Farley's off-screen life was a whirlwind of chaos, fueled by alcohol and self-destruction. Farley's drinking was relentless. Friends described nights where he consumed staggering amounts of alcohol, often mixing it with drugs, creating a dangerous cocktail of excess. He would party until sunrise, leaving a trail of shocking and heartbreaking stories. One notorious incident involved Farley showing up to work drunk, unable to perform his sketches. Despite his lovable image, those close to him witnessed a man spiraling out of control. Farley idolized his comedic hero, John Belushi, but tragically, he followed in Belushi's footsteps. Both men shared the same untamed humor and ultimately the same fate. On the night of his death, Farley was reportedly seen at a bar, heavily intoxicated, just hours before his passing. His final moments were a grim reminder of how addiction can consume even the brightest stars. Farley's death at 33 left the world stunned, a poignant end to a man whose talent was as immense as his inner turmoil. His story is a haunting reminder of fame's darker side. Number 5. Bette Davis. Bette Davis, the fiery queen of classic Hollywood, was renowned for her razor-sharp wit, piercing eyes, and powerhouse performances. But behind the screen, Davis battled a relentless dependence on alcohol, a habit that fueled her feuds, her fame, and her fiery reputation. Known for her love of martinis, she unapologetically embraced her drinking, saying, "I never drink when I'm working, but after, I make up for it." Davis's on-set demands often included a bottle of gin, which she claimed helped her relax after intense scenes. Her drinking was so entwined with her persona that friends joked she could deliver an Oscar-worthy performance, even while holding a martini glass. However, the consequences were anything but glamorous. Stories circulated of Davis arriving at glamorous parties already intoxicated, cutting guests down with her sharp tongue and unpredictable behavior. The most shocking moment came later in her career when her drinking began to affect her performances. On the set of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, her legendary feud with co-star Joan Crawford was amplified by alcohol, turning the production into a battlefield. Despite her undeniable brilliance, Davis's love for drinking added a tumultuous layer to her legacy, proving that even Hollywood royalty could be undone by their vices. Number 4. Oliver Reed. Oliver Reed wasn't just an actor, he was a legend, a man whose larger-than-life persona extended far beyond the screen. Known for his intense performances in films like Gladiator and The Three Musketeers, Reed's real-life escapades were even more dramatic, fueled by an insatiable love for alcohol. His drinking became the stuff of Hollywood folklore, shocking even the most hardened partygoers. Reed's record-breaking drinking sessions were infamous. During one wild night, he reportedly consumed 106 pints of beer in a single marathon session, followed by whiskey, rum, and gin. The story was so outrageous that it became part of his legacy. He once famously quipped, "My only regret in life is that I didn't drink every pub dry." But his love for alcohol came at a high cost. Reed's unpredictable behavior often disrupted film sets, with directors scrambling to manage his drunken antics. On the set of Gladiator, he reportedly challenged locals to drinking contests, moments before collapsing from a fatal heart attack during one such binge. Reed's death was as dramatic as his life, leaving fans stunned. He remains a cautionary tale of how excess can turn brilliance into tragedy. A man who lived fast, drank hard, and paid the ultimate price. Number 3. John Barrymore. John Barrymore, the original matinee idol, and a member of the illustrious Barrymore dynasty, was celebrated for his magnetic stage and screen presence. But his offstage life told a far darker story, one dominated by alcohol and an unrelenting descent into self-destruction. Known as the Great Profile, Barrymore's charm and good looks masked a spiraling addiction that would ultimately tarnish his legacy. Barrymore's drinking was relentless and unapologetic. He once claimed, "There are two things I will never give up: women and alcohol." His love for the bottle became legendary in Hollywood. Friends recalled him showing up to rehearsals so intoxicated he could barely stand, yet somehow delivering spellbinding performances that defied logic. One of the most shocking incidents occurred during his later years when he took the stage for a live performance and forgot his lines entirely due to his drunken state. Critics, once enamored by his talent, began to pity the man who was clearly losing his battle. Barrymore's health deteriorated rapidly. His once chiseled profile became gaunt, and his voice, once commanding, slurred under the weight of years of abuse. By the time of his death in 1942, Barrymore had become a cautionary tale, a brilliant star consumed by the very excesses that once defined his grandeur. Number 2. W.C. Fields. W.C. Fields, the comedic genius known for his razor-sharp wit and iconic drawl, was as famous for his drinking as he was for his unforgettable performances. Fields didn't just drink, he made it his brand. His love for alcohol wasn't a secret. It was a defining feature of his life, both on screen and off. He even joked, "I never drink water. Fish fuck in it. Fields' drinking habits were legendary and often shocking. He carried a flask everywhere he went, even on film sets, cleverly disguised as a thermos labeled pineapple juice. His scripts often incorporated his boozy persona, blending fiction with the stark reality of his addiction. His home bar, complete with personalized cocktail recipes, was the centerpiece of his social life. But his excessive drinking came with dire consequences. Fields' health deteriorated over the years, with cirrhosis and other alcohol-related ailments taking a toll. Despite his humor, his addiction was no laughing matter. On one infamous occasion, Fields reportedly drank an entire bottle of whiskey before stepping in front of the camera, leaving crew members stunned as he performed flawlessly. By the end of his life, Fields' drinking had consumed him, leaving behind a legacy both of laughter and a stark warning of the dangers of unchecked excess. Number 1. Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke, the brooding Hollywood heartthrob who once ruled the silver screen, became a cautionary tale of fame lost to chaos. Known for his intense performances in films like 9.5 Weeks and The Wrestler, Rourke's off-screen life was just as dramatic, fueled by alcohol, violence, and self-destruction. Rourke's drinking spiraled out of control during the peak of his career. He once admitted to drinking a bottle of vodka a day during his darkest times, often using alcohol to numb the pain of his crumbling personal life. His drinking fueled his infamous temper, leading to public fights and arrests. One shocking incident involved him drunkenly smashing a restaurant table after a disagreement, an act that earned him a reputation as Hollywood's most volatile star. The impact of his drinking wasn't just personal, it was professional. Directors hesitated to work with him, citing his unpredictable behavior. At his lowest, Rourke abandoned Hollywood altogether, turning to professional boxing, a career move as chaotic as his personal life. By the time he staged a comeback with The Wrestler, Rourke's face and career bore the scars of his tumultuous past. His journey is a haunting reminder of how alcohol can shatter even the most promising lives, leaving behind a legacy of brilliance marred by tragedy. If stories like these shock you, wait until you hear about the celebrities whose lives were tragically cut short, not by their own struggles, but by their own fans. The chilling truth behind what drove these admirers to turn into killers will leave you speechless. Don't miss out. Click on the video appearing on your screen right now to uncover the dark and unsettling tales of celebrities who were killed by their fans. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe for more shocking celebrity stories, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters, and we'd love to hear from you. See you in the next video.